Okay, listen. 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 I just woke up and I didn't make the coffee yet. I don't know why I'm so happy about it. Nothing to be happy about. Anyway, good morning. I am gonna go make the coffee, but I don't want to just leave without anyone in here so I can tell the others. I woke up 10 minutes ago. I woke up 10 minutes ago. Now, I'm really good at getting ready fast. I'm not that girly, right? Like I'm really good. I'm really good. But I'm not that good. So my eyes are like, you know when your eyes when you just wake up and your eyes are like you feel like they're like your eyeballs are a little swollen, you know? Like just a little swollen. I don't know. Let's see. Supreme Court of North Carolina is running this morning. I'm trying to put something on so that I can go make the coffee. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I woke up at my alarm and then I think I went back to sleep, which is really not like me, but here we are. All right, let's just see if anything's happening that chicks on the right hate them. The Glenn Beck program, which is pretty full of commercials. Good morning, Neil. Loungerinos. I love that. I'm a loungerino. I'm a loungerino. You know, if we were court watching people, we'd have something to watch. If we were into that court stuff, we'd have something to watch. Let's see. I'm probably not going to be able to make my coffee right away. That's okay. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. Do, 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 do. What? Oh my God. Please, Lord. Either transport me out of Los Angeles or transport some people that don't belong here, Lord. All right. They're like every other schmo that rolls into town thinking they're going to strike it big. Your Lord. Can you please smite them? I'm so tired. You know, I live here, honey. Uh, 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 uh. Oh, sorry, my eyes were watering because I just woke up. Oh my God. Okay, what's new? Let's see.
You know why love hates you.
I don't know who you are. Don't go away from me. I'm sorry, I was just scrolling and it hit on one. Um, I'm good. Uh I'm sore because when I went to the gym the day before yesterday, I I mean, you only overdo it because you haven't done it in a long time. So I haven't been to the gym in a long time. And so I am very sore today cuz usually for me, and I don't know about you, but I get sore a day and a half after. The day after I'm usually kind of okay. But the day and a half, 2 days after? No. No. That's when I feel really bad. Um, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Itchy back. I still haven't resolved the arthritis medicine yet, but we'll get there. One thing at a time, sweet Jesus. Hi, Carrie. How are you? It's so good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, it's Thursday, right? Oh, fantastic. We're on the other side of the peak, rolling down that hill. Um, let's see. Let me just see if there's anything. Sorry, I'm so discombobulated. A hot shower is good for soreness. Yeah, and I took one the night of, because I take showers every other night. Oh, good, Carrie. I'm glad. I'm so glad you guys are here, and that's so nice. I feel really lucky that people show up. Well, it would work, yes. And I did, well, it wasn't a super hot shower, so maybe I need to, you know, the other thing that I have that really works, I don't use it all the time, but sometimes if it, in extreme cases, was Epsom salts in a bath. Epsom salts in a bath really helps. I mean, it's legit. Like, it's one of those old-timey cures, but it really, really fucking works. So, Epsom salts for the win. Let's see what we're doing. It is all so silly. Oh, you know what? I can look at my watch later. Because I think I put away a clip for us yesterday when I was on my travels. Oh, yes, I did. Oh, here we go. This is enough for me to make the coffee. I'm very happy. Epsom salt sounds like a good idea. People have been, I know, it really does. Like, it really does. You know, the other thing that works that I've noticed is arnica, which is a home remedy for, you know, muscle aches and stuff. Arnica really works too. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, I actually am going to put on a little conversation from the Kamala Harris. This is uplifting. For the first time, I'm not traumatizing you. Oh my God. You're welcome. You're welcome. So
you know, I watch Shark Tank all the time.
Okay. So this is Mark Cuban and Kamala. And they are going to talk with each other for about 10 minutes. And I'm going to go make my coffee. Good morning, gal. We're just watching a little bit because I woke up 10 minutes ago. And I haven't made coffee. And I really, 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 really need to make coffee. And one of the things I wanted to play for you this morning, so this is perfect, is this 6-minute clip between Mark Cuban and Kamala. So, yeah. Oh, when I get back, yeah. Epsom salts and baking soda, 1 pound each. Dissolve Epsom salts in hot water, then add baking soda, and the water gets fizzy. Oh my God. Oh, okay. I'm teeing that up, gal. Okay, I'm going to be right back. I won't be long. I promise. Okay, good. Woo. Because he's a Cuban. It might be, Neil. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Okay. All right, loves. I'll be right back. Enjoy Mark Cuban. Oops. And Madam President. No. Okay.
Yeah, I knew I liked you.
And then I often, depending on, because, you know, there are a lot of reruns, I'll look it up to see how the company's doing.
Well, hopefully mine are doing well. Hey.
How are you, Mark?
Good. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
So excited to talk to you.
I am excited to talk with you.
So I know it's a grind with an NBA season going city to city. So what does it feel like? I mean, just physically.
You know, long days. I start every day. I work out every morning.
And what's your workout?
Elliptical. And then I go all day long.
And are you just exhausted at the end of the day?
You know, your body doesn't lie to you when you first wake up in the morning.
Yep.
And then your brain kicks in and says, oh, everything will be fine, right?
And that workout just gets you going.
And it gets me going every morning.
So here's the other question I'd like to ask. We've talked about tech and innovation, how important it is to the economy and just dominating globally, right? Do you ever geek out at all?
All the time.
So tell me about that.
So my mother was a scientist, right? So I grew up as a kid going to the lab. I grew up seeing her have a passion about, she wanted to end breast cancer. She wanted to find a cure. And she did make breakthroughs in breast cancer research.
That's amazing.
And that's where the source of my geeking
It all
out,
comes from, right? But
Right?
so now I got to ask, I was at your speech in Pittsburgh, and you talked about it took only a year to build the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
And then you said that you were going to cut permitting, you were going to cut the time for licenses,
red
for
tape.
all the red
It
tape.
slows things
So how do
down.
we take that and use it to cut the deficit?
So part of it is we cannot be rote in terms of how we think about deficits to say government spends too much, because I think that is overly simplistic.
I agree.
We have to ask, are we spending it in a smart way such that we are yielding a return on that investment?
Just
that
like a
is-
regular business.
But this is exactly right.
I get all that right. So here's
Yeah.
kind of the angle I was looking at tariffs on.
Yeah.
I've known Donald Trump 25 years. He used to be okay on trade policy,
Yeah.
but over the last 25 years, he's just lost it.
I don't think he pays attention to the details, and you can't be president of the United States.
Unless you pay attention to the details.
Yeah, that's fine if he wants to, just give speeches in random places for random reasons. But to talk about such significant policy like tariffs, much less foreign policy, he is applying a machete when a scalpel is what's necessary.
It makes no sense to me whatsoever. To me, I think Donald Trump is the Grinch that stole Christmas. This time next year, we're going to be thinking about Christmas presents for all of our kids. And if he puts a 60% tariff on everything from China, those prices are going up. And now all of a sudden, your vision of everything you wanted to have for your kids at Christmas is gone. Donald Trump just crushed it. And it's not just crushing people's Christmases. Those small companies that support communities, now all of a sudden, not only did their costs go up 60%, but their businesses were just shot.
Right.
He is going to put who knows how many small businesses out of business.
Goldman Sachs, Moody's, Wall Street Journal most recently, 16 Nobel laureates have all examined our policies. Mine, as has been reviewed, will strengthen the economy. His will weaken it. It will incite inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year, Mark.
I don't think he's ever run a company where you have to go deal with the fundamental basis of your business. He has no clue. And the worst part is, he doesn't care.
Let's not forget he was handed so much of what he's had and has lost it. And he doesn't understand how people like you and so many others, and this is what I love about the American people, who are hardworking, who have grit, who are innovative, and who start with nothing. And make something. And
makes
that's
all the
something
difference.
he doesn't get.
No, obviously, I've been investing in startups forever. When I work with these companies, it's their whole life.
Yeah.
They've given up something, and he doesn't realize that this person has worked 5 years, 10 years to save up enough money to start this business, or they just went for it. And he doesn't get that. And that's where the tax credit, and that's the other reason why talking about childcare and daycare, being able to have $6,000. So if you have a child and a newborn, you can keep on working.
A crib and a car seat. How are they going to actually afford, especially during that first year of the child's life? Right now, for so many of Gen Z, Gen X, the idea of the American dream is really elusive. It was an older concept.
It's tough. Yeah.
And a big part of it being housing supply. We don't have enough. And so the prices go up.
I don't think we ever
That's
had
why I
it.
want to build more housing supply, but also work with developers and home builders to cut the red tape and
Who
to
are
get them
hardcore
tax
entrepreneurs,
credits.
hardcore entrepreneurs. Yeah, I think that is so important because, one of the questions I get all the time is about work-life balance.
Yeah.
Because it's a challenge. You've got to pay the mortgage, you've got to pay the rent, whatever. You've got to pay the car payment and insurance.
I was
It's a
kinda
tough
hoping this would
decision
be
to
a
go
little
start a
different.
business. Having a $6,000 tax credit gives you the comfort that you can get somebody to help your child. You can have some work-life balance.
Right.
And I don't think he's never been in that situation. Not all those people started like Donald Trump with a silver spoon, right?
course
These are
not.
people putting their life on the line.
It's that energy and that grit, to your point, that is going to spur us into the future, right? Because here's the other thing about entrepreneurs. You can't be a successful entrepreneur without actually thinking about where are things going.
Look, we're here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we're going to be talking to a bunch of kids. And I guarantee you, one of them is going to start a business, and that business just might be the next Nike, might be
Right.
it's those kids that are going to change the world, invent the next technology.
The idea of knowing that it is possible for us, if we work and study something, that we can create something that improves and uplifts the human condition.
Of course.
that excites me to no end. Like that's where I see where we could actually combine a lot of our areas of focus.
For sure. And I wanted to let you know that as an entrepreneur, as an investor, as a geek, the things that you're doing matter. I'm getting more and more people emailing me, calling me, saying, maybe she really understands what it takes to be an entrepreneur, what it takes to be successful. And I know you've committed to that, so it's awesome.
Jimmy Kimmel.
No, no, get back in your box. Go away. Okay, the coffee is brewing. The coffee is brewing. Oops. Oh, wait, where's that? Wrong one. Boop. All right, let me pick up on what Gal is putting down. Okay. Are you sure you wanna sway? Ah! Where's my cursor? Oh, there it is. Are you sure you wanna sway away? Oh, oh, oh. All right. All right. Yeah, baby. She is amazing. She is amazing. And you know what? This is not her necessarily like, it's not necessarily like like not everybody is, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think she's good at what she does. And, you know, I don't know. I'm going to shut up now. I don't know what I'm talking about. Oops, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Here we go. Okay. So here's the first salvo from Gal is Trump vows to go after his enemies. Let me do this. I wonder if I can. Oh, wait. Is this like a little. Oh, here. We're going to do this 40-second thing. President Trump issued a pardon via Twitter. Oh, that's dumb. Okay, you can't. It's not saying anything. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just fucking read it to you. Jim was interviewed for this USA Today piece. Cool. All right. Okay. President Trump. This is obviously USA Today. This is October 24th, 2024. Oh, this must be a little like. Oh, yeah, actually. Oh, wait. Today? Oh, my God. This is today. Oh, this is today. Not USA Today. It's USA Today. Okay. So Josh Meyer of USA Today writes, if elected, Trump vows to go after his enemies if elected. Meet 2 enforcers to carry that out. Let's do it. Oh, you know what? It's just that I can't quite see the screen because my fucking mic boom is so big. Okay. Former President Donald Trump tells his supporters he'll be their retribution if elected in November. He talks of turning the military and the National Guard on the enemy within, or those who don't support him, including Democratic figures like former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Trump speaks only in generalities about his intentions, but for the past year, a former top Trump national security official likely to join him in a new administration has been crisscrossing America, recruiting an army of volunteers to help carry out such a plan. That's Michael Flynn, retired Army Lieutenant General and Trump's first White House National Security Advisor. He's also a former convicted felon who was banished from what he calls the deep state national security bureaucracy after rising to become head of the Pentagon's Defense Intelligence Agency. Not USA yesterday. At Flynn's side is his longtime aide, Ivan Raiklin, an intense former Green Beret. Intense is a good word. Retired Army Reserve Lieutenant Colonel and former DIA employee who's also a conservative lawyer. Oops. Flynn and Raiklin are among the most vocal of a cadre of Trump allies calling for prosecution and even violence against the former president's political enemies. Raiklin, who calls himself Trump's Secretary of Retribution, has gone so far as to compile a deep state target list of more than 350 people he says he'll go after in a second Trump administration. Two enforcers. I know it makes him sound like, hey, here's his bodyguards. It's just unthinkable that our country has come to this, retired Air Force Lieutenant General James Clapper, who served as the U.S. Director of National Intelligence and DIA chief, told USA Today. Javed Ali, a National Security Council official in the Trump administration, called the men's agenda very unsettling, especially coming from a former top-ranking military officer like Flynn. Why do people always clutch their pearls? Together, Flynn and Raiklin have been barnstorming for a far-right anti-government form of Christian nationalism, railing against what they see as a woke takeover of America by communist sympathizers aligned with China. That group, they say, includes liberals, Democrats, and other Trump opponents. In dozens of town hall-style appearances this year, including at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate, Flynn and Raiklin have talked of the need for Americans to do whatever it takes to get Trump reelected, and then exact vengeance, including detention, tribunals, and possibly worse. At the far-right Rod of Iron Freedom Festival on October 11th in Greeley, Pennsylvania, one attendee asked Flynn whether, if Trump wins, he would get his rank reinstated and sit at the head of a military tribunal to not only drain the swamp, but imprison the swamp, and on a few occasions, execute the swamp. The question brought a chorus of cheers at the event, which was sponsored by a group led by the son of the late Unification Church founder Reverend Sun Myung Moon, that the Southern Poverty Law Center calls an anti-government Christian gun cult. I think a lot of people actually think like you do, and I think that's your right and our privilege, Flynn replied. These people are already up to no good, he said of Trump's opponents, so we gotta win first. We win, and then, Katie bar the door. Believe me, the gates of hell, my hell, will be unleashed. And there's just the tip. There he is in a T-shirt. Jeffrey Beinholt, a George Washington University law lecturer who worked on counterterrorism at the Justice Department for 25 years, said Flynn and Raiklin's statements and organizing could violate federal laws against illegal threats, even when considering the extremely high bar of First Amendment protections. I think if we had the political will, we would be able to find an appropriate federal statute to charge them with, Beinholt said of the DOJ, where he worked until his retirement earlier this year. When I say the line was crossed, there's a line that goes from First Amendment protected activity into harassment. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate, using an expletive, described Flynn's remarks as crazy at a campaign event last Thursday in North Carolina. Repeating Flynn's comments almost verbatim, Walz warned that Flynn is a contender to be National Security Advisor once again if Trump wins. Well, probably more. Flynn did not respond to multiple requests for comment. The Trump campaign didn't respond to a request for comment. What? Raiklin wears T-shirts that say Secretary of Retribution and the Deep State Marauder at his many public appearances. A daily presence on far-right cable, radio, and internet shows, Raiklin also touts and offers to share a target list he's compiled of politicians, intelligence, and law enforcement officials, journalists, and others, describing them as the enemy of our constitutional order. He says they'll pay if Trump wins on November 5th. I'm coming for all of them. And what does that mean when I say I'm coming for all of them? Raiklin told a reporter last May in a video he uploaded to X. It means the most legal, moral, and ethical consequences to the maximum, to include the maximum punishment for treason, he said. I personally guarantee that they're going to face those consequences. Well, that doesn't sound like due process. Treason is punishable by penalties including death, according to the Justice Department. Raiklin called for live stream swatting raids of every single individual on the list, a reference to the practice of anonymously calling police to swarm a victim's residence for an emergency that doesn't exist. He says he has 80,000 recruits waiting to be deputized by appropriate sheriffs throughout the country, so-called constitutional sheriffs who believe they are above the law, to go after those on his target list. The individuals that I mention are the enemy of our constitutional order, Raiklin says. We're coming for them maximally. Last week, Raiklin threatened a USA Today reporter who phoned and texted him for a comment on this story. Please find on him maximum. Look to family, friends, neighbors, and all associates to determine how and if I respond, Raiklin said on X to his 220,000 followers. In June, Raiklen bragged of threatening Dr. Anthony Fauci, the former longtime head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, and a figure hated by anti vaccine extremists at a congressional hearing on the COVID pandemic response. Oh, what happened? What? No, I don't want to buy that sweater. I don't even like that sweater. That's ugly. Oh, wait. Okay. In a June 3rd episode of his online The Raiklen Report, Raiklen said he sat behind Fauci at the hearing to whisper in Dr. Fauci's ear about the maximum consequences the doctor should face for his role in fighting the pandemic. Why is that not? Why is that not? Why is this guy not retained? This is crazy to me. This is so crazy to me. Unfortunately for him, I was not close enough to him physically to conduct a Mike Tyson-style Evander Holyfield physical moment, Raiklen added, referring to an infamous 1997 incident in which Tyson bit off part of Holyfield's ear during a championship boxing match. There he is, just the tip. I remember that. Photos from the hearing show Raiklen sitting 2 rows behind the 83-year-old Fauci, who told USA Today in June he lives under 24-hour security. I'm not a psychologist. I just think that after he retired, he became an angry man, Clapper said. I can't account for what happened, but he's a different person than the one I knew. Wonder Woman hoodie. Yes. This paragraph links to Jim's Twitter account. Flynn later helped Trump to overturn his 2020 election loss to President Joe Biden in the congressional committee investigating the Capitol attack found. With help from Raiklen, who tweeted to urge people to bring walkie-talkies, medical bags to the Capitol on January 6th. Let me do that. Which link? Well, let me keep going, and then we'll come back to that. Clapper, a prominent member of Raiklen's retribution list, knows Flynn well from their time in military and intelligence agencies, but said he has no explanation for why he's participating in such an effort. I haven't gotten to it yet. Okay. I'm not a psychologist. I just think that after he retired, he became an angry man. Oh, okay. He's not the one I knew. Someone very special. These days, Flynn and Raiklen often appear together at events showcasing Flynn's 2024 autobiographical documentary, fantasy, Flynn, in which Raiklen plays a lead role. The film describes the severe political persecution Flynn says he faced while exposing corruption as the national security advisor to President Trump. After a meteoric rise through the Army, Flynn was fired as the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency by then President Barack Obama in 2014. He then was investigated by the FBI and Special Counsel Robert Mueller for raking in huge sums as a lobbyist, including for the Turkish government, until March 2017, a period in which he served on Trump's campaign and worked at the top of the Trump administration, Mueller and other prosecutors would later say. After Trump's election in November 2016, Flynn, as a private citizen, conducted secret back-channel discussions with Russia's ambassador to the U.S. in his final report, U.S. In his final report, Mueller said those actions undermined Obama's foreign policy, including sanctions on Moscow for meddling in the 2016 election. Good morning, Pep. To help Trump defeat Hillary Clinton. While Flynn was under criminal investigation by the FBI, Trump tapped him as White House National Security Advisor. 3 weeks later, Flynn was forced to resign for lying to then Vice President Mike Pence about his contacts with Russia's ambassador. Sure he did. I saw that bus. Okay. Trump then told FBI Director James Comey to let this go in reference to a Flynn investigation USA Today reported in 2017. Flynn ultimately pled guilty to lying to federal agents. Arguably, you sold your country out, U.S. District Judge Emmett Sullivan told him. Flynn later helped Trump try to overturn his 2020 election loss to President Joe Biden, the congressional committee investigating the Capitol attack found, with help from Raiklen, who tweeted to urge people to bring walkie-talkies, medical bags to the Capitol on January 6. By then, Trump had already given Flynn a full pardon. Trump said he intends to find a role for Flynn in his administration if he wins in November. We're going to bring you back, he told Flynn in May. We're very proud of you, General. I knew it from day one. You're really somebody very special. What does that even mean? Dana Nessel, Michigan's Attorney General, said she was concerned enough to track down a copy of Raiklen's enemies list and found the state's governor, Gretchen Whitmer, who was the target of a militia kidnapping plot in 2020 and Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson among the targets. I was waiting for Donald Trump to disavow that list, Nessel said, but he never did. Scary times. Oops, is that it? Okay, I think that's it. All right. Ooh, that's good. Ooh, that's good. Ooh, that's good. Wait. Where am I? Boop, 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 boop. This paragraph links to Jim's Twitter. I just noticed, okay, so this is from June 3rd, 2024. I first noticed Flynn org terrorist Ivan Ranklin on 12/22/20. He was telling the people to bring walkie-talkies and medical bags to J6. He deleted the tweet, but the internet is forever. Why is he still free? And what in the hell is sitting behind Dr. Fauci? And what in the hell is he doing sitting behind Dr. Fauci? So this is the Wayback Machine. So this is 12/20/26. Ivan Ranklin. Every single live human being that voted for Trump in this election must be in D.C. to surround the U.S. Capitol January 3rd through the 6th. Yeah. Well, Jim, I do remember that very specifically. I remember that incredibly specifically. I have an opinion about that. Anyway. Every single human being. Okay. If driving, organize a caravan. If you live in D.C. metro area, host several patriots in your home. Bring food, water, walkie-talkies, and medical bags. What the fuck? Ay, ay, ay. Ivan Ranklin. What the absolute... Oh, this was December 22nd, 2020. Jim tweeted that and said, what the absolute fuck is this blue check with 170,000 followers doing here at Twitter Safety? Surround the U.S. Capitol. Bring food and water. Oh, boy. Don't forget your medical bags. Jim. Jim. That's not the ellipse. He wasn't planning for the ellipse. Bring shofars. Bring wire cutters. Hey, isn't Yellow Sizzler going to prison or something? Isn't he going to prison? Yeah, he was prepping for a siege. Yeah, they were going to stay days and days. And that's why, yeah, Virginia. Wow. I think it's so crazy to see people's tweets from that time and what we knew or what was known at least to someone. Oh my God, I'm sorry. My back is really... That's okay. I'll just ignore it. Sorry. Oh, I have this little psoriasis. Bring shofars, yeah. Okay. I need to go grab some coffee, but I want to, let me find something else. Here is Mike Flynn's terrorist, Ivan Ranklin. Here is Flynn org terrorist, Ivan Ranklin, with Ashley Babbitt's mom, Mickey, smirking their way through a hearing about the J5 pipe bombs. He seems amused when mentioned the pipe bomber could be in the room.
As far as we know, the perpetrator could be sitting here in the room with us, correct?
Their identity is currently unknown.
It could be the perpetrator who planted these bombs could be watching us on TV, right?
Perhaps.
As far as we know, the perpetrator could be sitting here in the room with us, correct?
Their identity is currently unknown.
It could be the perpetrator who planted these bombs could be watching us on TV, right?
Perhaps.
Oh,
As far as we know, the perpetrator could be
Did
sitting
Mickey
here in the
find
room
that
with
funny?
us, correct?
Wait a minute.
Their
Wait a minute. Did Mickey find that funny too? I know you made that video, gal. Oh, that's right. That's yours at March 12th, Speechless. That's right. I remember that. She thought it was hilarious. Yeah. Why? Why did she think it was hilarious? It should not mean anything to her, really. Interesting. Has Ivan been making some pillow talk maybe with Mickey? I want to start a rumor. Can we start a rumor, please? Thank you. Hi, darling. How are you? I woke up at 6:19, so my coffee is in the pot. I got to go get some coffee. But yeah, no, I mean maybe. I'm just kidding. I'm sure they're not. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. The bane of my existence. Okay, let's see. What else do I have here? Hold on. Great. The Congressional Committee investigating. Oh, okay. Wait, I want to go back to that. Oh, wait, we have another one. I have the archive of that CNN article. Oh, my God. That's not what I wanted. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay. Oh, yeah, I see. Yep. Ah, so cool. That's really good. Good work. Wow, really fucking great work. Really amazing work. I'll link Jim's tweet in the description of the video too, because that's really good. All right, here we go. This is an archived article. Thank you, Gal. God, the I'm going to tell you right now, my friends have so much data in their possession. It's so amazing to me how well researched everything that my friends do is. Everything. It is so well researched. I just stay out of the way. I watch it go back and forth. I watch information and conclusions and kind of like, oh, well, wait, what about this? And wait, on this date, that happened. I'm telling you right now, you just sit back and you watch it. You watch the information exchange. It's crazy. I love this group of people so much. I don't know how they let me in the door, but here we are. Okay. Salvasteel, how Michael Flynn built a business and MAGA following out of election denialism. That's the only part that's really dark. Okay. All right, here we go. It's true. It's true. I'm like, I don't want to throw off the rhythm by putting in a meme of somebody picking their nose. Like I just have to figure out when to time the comedic relief in the chain of messages. All right, here we go. This is dated October. Oh, this is today too. Oh, it's behind a paywall. Thank you very much, Gal. CNN, Donald Trump's former national security advisor Michael Flynn has spent much of the last 3 years claiming the 2020 election was stolen, turning baseless conspiracy theories into cottage industry centered around live events, a documentary, and political fundraising through dark money groups. But under oath in a court deposition earlier this year, Flynn, for the first time on record, acknowledged there was no evidence to support a key part of some election fraud claims that an executive at Dominion Voting Systems helped rig the 2020 election through the company's voting machines. Flynn was deposed in a year-long defamation suit that former Dominion executive Eric Coomer brought against Reawaken America, the speaking tour Flynn co-founded in 2021 that travels the country promoting election denialism and other right-wing conspiracy theories. Have you seen any evidence that you would consider credible, Mr. Flynn, that Eric Coomer played a role in rigging the 2020 presidential election? Attorneys for Coomer asked Flynn at one point in the April deposition. I have not, no, Flynn responded. I don't really know. When pressed about the more general claims about Dominion-related election fraud, Flynn added that he's, quote, seen a lot of evidence and, quote, read a lot of reports, but could not say for certain that he believed that evidence to be credible. Credibility is in the eye of the legal system to determine. Well, they did, bitch. They did. I know. I can't wait for the Gal Squad or the Gal book. I think it's gonna be amazing. Let's see. Okay. A month later, Flynn was back on TV telling Chris Cuomo on News Nation that the 2020 election was filled with fraud and that there is clear evidence to back it up. Pressed for details, Flynn declined to elaborate. Last month, Flynn was on Alex Jones' InfoWars talking about a Marxist plot to steal the election from Trump. At a recent Christian nationalist festival in Pennsylvania held by Rod of Iron Ministries, Flynn spoke about unleashing vengeance if Trump wins. Quote, "There's a way to get after this, but we have to win first," said Flynn. "These people are already up to no good, so we got to win first. We win, and then Katie barred the door. Believe me, the gates of hell, my hell, will be unleashed." Let's say it again. Flynn, a retired Army lieutenant general who once led the Defense Intelligence Agency and someone Trump indicated he would include in a second administration, has been one of the biggest promoters of the same baseless voter fraud allegations that have spawned criminal investigations, a congressional inquiry, and in the case of Dominion, a $787 million defamation settlement from Fox News. Yet Flynn has so far skirted any legal jeopardy himself, maintaining a unique place within the MAGA movement thanks to his relentless promotion of baseless election lies and his continued loyalty to Trump. As millions of voters begin making their choice for president, the lies of the last election still permeate the airwaves. Oh, fuck yeah, they do. The fallout is real for what used to be mundane portions of America's election system. There's been an exodus of election workers who have quit or retired instead of putting up with the abuse for another cycle. Election offices are buying wearable panic buttons for workers worried about violence who want a way to quickly alert the police. Trump and his allies have gone from claiming the 2020 election was rigged to casting doubt on the integrity of this one. At its heart is an informal confederation of Trump allies who have spent the past 4 years spreading the lie of voter fraud. Not only have they managed to convince large swaths of the country that the 2020 election was stolen from Trump, they've made a business out of it. No one is cashed in quite like Flynn. Along with the Reawaken America tour, Flynn also co-founded the America Project, a nonprofit group which has raised at least $21 million from unknown donors since 2021, according to tax filings, while peddling baseless claims about the 2020 election. Some of that money has helped bankroll dubious attempts to undermine public faith in the security of voting systems. Pay a salary to Flynn's brother Joseph. What? For what? For rage quitting and being drunk? Excuse me? What are we paying Joe Flynn to do? Okay. Whatever. But to pay a salary boosts the political campaigns of known election deniers and underwrite various legal efforts to overturn the legitimate 2020 election results. What Mike Flynn has done is that he's turned his once respected military career into a dangerous grift, profiting off of conspiracy theories undermining the very democracy that he once swore to protect, said Olivia Troy, a former national security official who worked under then Vice President Mike Pence. Troy has known Flynn for years, dating back to his time as a high-ranking military official serving in Afghanistan. The concern about people like Mike Flynn is that he was once a very well-respected military officer, Troy, who was supporting Vice President Kamala Harris in 2024 election, told CNN. The issue is that he, someone like that, is fully capable of radicalizing others in the military and others like our former military because he brings that stature. Coomer's series of civil defamation lawsuits aimed at some of the organizations and people that have propagated the claim that Dominion rigged the election have put into the public record new details about how Flynn used his position in Trump's inner circle and his contacts in the national security community to try and weaponize the federal government against Dominion and convince millions of voters that the fraud was real. Chief among them is a November 2020 email chain that Flynn forwarded to a member of Trump's National Security Council. The email, which Flynn did not write, singles out Coomer, who was then Dominion's Director of Product Strategy and Security, and calls for his immediate arrest. Quote, Eric Coomer may hold the key to the entire election theft by Dominion. Eric Coomer should be arrested immediately, read the email that Flynn forwarded to Joshua Steinman, a former military officer and Trump's top White House advisor on cyber policy. Sorry, stolen, I know. The email, which has not been previously reported, was cited in court filings as evidence of how Flynn was among the earliest promoters of 2020 vote rigging lies and directly connects Flynn's to efforts to use those false theories to convince federal officials that the election should be overturned. Flynn passed along the email at the behest of Sidney Powell, the Trump lawyer who, along with Rudy Giuliani, brought dozens of fruitless lawsuits alleging voter fraud after the election. Get to Josh ASAP, Powell wrote to Flynn on November 14th, 11 days after the 2020 election, sharing an email she received from another right-wing election denier about Coomer's alleged role in a conspiracy to rig the election for Joe Biden. It's unclear how Steinman responded to Flynn's email. Steinman declined to comment for this story. Coomer is also suing the Trump campaign, My Pillow Guy CEO Mike Lindell, and Overstock CEO Patrick Byrne, ex-Overstock. As criminal prosecutions into the effort to overturn the 2020 election have stalled out, Coomer's civil suit may be what goes before a jury first. His defamation case against Lindell is scheduled for a June 2025 trial. Coomer is not suing Flynn directly, but he is suing Reawaken America Tour and the America Project as part of separate defamation lawsuits. Though Flynn was integral to founding both, he has sought to distance himself from their day-to-day operations. Troy likened Flynn's fundraising apparatus to an offshore shell game that makes it difficult to determine where the funding is coming from. I have an idea. And what the money is used for. I have an idea. Where is the funding for these entities coming from? Because as they kind of mask their involvement, they're grifting off of it. My question is, who's the source of the funding for a lot of these entities, she said. A lawyer for the America Project, they have a lawyer, declined to provide more context around the nonprofit spending while calling the defamation lawsuit against it vexatious. Actually, I should look at the America Project's 990, right? Put simply, Mr. Coomer's lawsuit is nothing more than a thinly veiled attempt to utilize the court system to threaten and intimidate TAP and other organizations like it from exercising their First Amendment protected rights, the lawyer, Christopher Dempsey, told CNN in an email. CNN asked Flynn how he aligns his statements under oath with the other statements he's made about fraud in the 2020 election. His team didn't answer those questions. Instead, Flynn's attorney provided a statement that focused on the benefits or the merits of using paper ballots. Michael Flynn lasted less than a month in the Trump administration after it came out that he lied to the FBI about conversations he had with the Russian ambassador. Flynn resigned as Trump's national security advisor on February 13th, 2017. By December 2017, Flynn pled guilty to making false statements to the FBI. Flynn later withdrew his guilty plea, and the Justice Department, under then Attorney General William Barr, dropped the charges against him. Over the next 3 years, Flynn stayed in Trump's good graces, and after the 2020 election, he found himself in the then president's inner circle. As Trump fought to stay in office, Flynn was involved in a number of aggressive tactics, including a proposal he helped craft to have the military and Department of Homeland Security confiscate voting machines. EO 13848. In December 2020, a draft executive order began circulating among Trump's inner circle. It name-checked Coomer and referenced a since-debunked forensic report that alleged Dominion was intentionally and purposefully designed with inherent errors to create systemic fraud and influence election results. Oh, okay, I will. The order directed the Secretary of Defense to seize, collect, retain, and analyze voting machines across the country. Emails reviewed by CNN show that Flynn oversaw the process to draft and edit the document. Both he and Powell were in the Oval Office on December 18th, 2020, during a notoriously unhinged meeting in which Trump was presented the draft order to seize voting machines. He never ended up signing it. Asked about that meeting and the executive orders during his April deposition, Flynn invoked his Fifth Amendment right not to offer incriminating evidence against himself. When House investigators probing the January 6 U.S. Capitol attack deposed Flynn in 2022, he pled the Fifth hundreds of times. Good morning, Peace Love. How are you? Hi, SB. How are you? I want to make sure I get everybody. That's what makes what Flynn said in the Coomer deposition so stunning, said Rep. Jamie Raskin, a Democrat and former member of the House committee that investigated January 6. He is essentially confessing that he considered all of that a useful prop for promoting an authoritarian political program and takeover of our government, Raskin told CNN. Flynn's efforts to cast doubt on the 2020 election results were only getting started when Trump left office. In April 2021, Flynn formed a nonprofit group called the America Project, along with his brother Joe Flynn and Patrick Byrne, the wealthy former CEO of the cash cow, who has bankrolled numerous efforts aimed at finding election fraud. Yeah. Byrne produced a 2021 documentary called The Deep Rig, laying out sensational theories about 2020 election fraud, including the bombastic claims about Coomer. Byrne and others involved in the documentary said the money it raised would go to the America Project. Dempsey, the lawyer for the America Project, said the film constitutes the expression of constitutionally protected speech regarding a matter of public concern. He did not answer CNN's question about revenue from the film going to the nonprofit, but noted that Dr. Coomer's lawsuit does not allege that TAP participated in making the film, that it had any input or authority over the film's content, that it edited the film, or that it made any statement of its own about Dr. Coomer regarding his involvement in the 2020 presidential election. Oh my God. Oh, okay. I got to go get some coffee. So give me just a second. I'll put on some music. Well, I just have to pour some coffee. I'm so sorry. I'm dying. I'm dying. Okay, I'll BRB. I promise. Okay. Oh my God. I brought the whole apparatus. I brought it all with me. But I'm first. Oh, oh, oh. What is so wrong about this? What? Ah! Okay. Sorry. Okay. I just want to remind everyone I woke up 10 minutes before I started this show. Oh my God. Oh. That's so delicioso. It's so delicious. Okay. I'm back. I'm just going to hold on to this. It tastes so good. Signs of spur of the moment trips can be fun. Ooh, yeah, I like trips. Sometimes. Okay. Joseph Flynn was heavily involved in promoting the film and starred in it as well. Which film? Wait. Okay. Joseph Flynn was heavily involved in promoting the film and starred in it as well. In 2022, he earned $263,000. $263,000 he earned. Oh. God, you patriots are so stupid. So this is the same. America Project was the one who was paying, or who, for a while, I think, supported the condo that Mickey and the people who would sit at the corner, you know, in D.C. at the jail for the J6ers. So they had America Project gave them a condo, or paid the rent for a condo, and This is so interesting. This is so interesting. Deep Rig, yeah. The Deep Rig movie. Thank you. And he earned that. Okay. The America Project paid $200,000 to Resilient Patriot, an LLC registered under Michael Flynn's name, for strategic consulting, while a company linked to Joe Flynn was paid nearly $159,000 for election integrity investigators. What? Yeah, Patrick Byrne did give him money. Okay, let's see. Flynn and the America Project were also directly involved in helping fund the partisan audit of Joe Biden's 2020 electoral victory in Arizona that was conducted by a hand-picked group of outside investigators called the Cyber Ninjas, according to tax documents and text messages obtained by CNN. The America Project funneled $2.75 million to the Cyber Ninjas throughout 2021, according to tax filings, in an effort to prop up what was ultimately exposed to be a sham audit of Arizona's vote tally. The audit actually found more votes for Biden than previously had been awarded. There you go. These a-holes have no problem. I know, Carrie, you're absolutely right. And themselves. They're loyal to themselves. Flynn personally helped facilitate those payments and assured Cyber Ninja's CEO Doug Logan on multiple occasions he could help secure additional funding from other pro-Trump groups, even when it became clear to Logan that his findings only affirmed the fact that Biden had won Arizona, according to text messages between the two men, which have not been previously reported. God, could we please report on some of this stuff? I'm just asking. Flynn's objective, Flynn's objective, the text show, was not only to upend the 2020 presidential election, but to fundamentally change the way votes are counted at the state level, a message that is consistent with what Trump former national security advisor has continued to promote publicly in recent weeks. This is from today. This is behind a paywall at CNN. I'll link everything so you'll have it. Excuse me. I'm snurfling. I only woke up a little bit ago. I know, I'm going to keep saying it until it becomes a miracle that I'm actually even here. Hi, Teresa. Okay. So are they going to arrest him now with this? I don't know. They're going to try and change the voting forever now that they got away with stealing the November 3rd election. Flynn wrote to Logan on March 6, 2021, a view he repeated throughout nearly 6 months in text messages to Logan and reiterated on InfoWars on September 29th. Quote, states really have to step up against the imposition of the federal government. States have rights too. The Dem-controlled states won't. The weak Republicans won't either. Georgia comes to mind, Flynn added, according to text messages between the two men that were obtained by CNN. Hey, you're missing the end thing. And citizens have to stop this by telling their elected officials it is not acceptable, Flynn wrote to Logan. In the weeks after Biden's inauguration, Flynn crossed paths with Clay Clark, a former wedding DJ in Oklahoma. Oh, good, Carla. Thank you. I feel kindred spirit. A former wedding DJ in Oklahoma, who spun out various businesses from his work in the bridal industry, including a radio show focused on entrepreneurship. He is such a fucking snake oil salesman. After meeting through Flynn's appearance at a Tulsa political event in 2021, they only met then. Oh, that's interesting. Clark and Flynn hatched the live event program that would become the Reawaken America Tour, a traveling conference of of prominent far-right speakers who opine on causes like the evil of COVID-related government mandates, the role Christian nationalism should be playing in society, and election denialism. That makes everything different. He's the wedding DJ. Oh my God. Let's see. Of the roughly 24 events the Reawaken America Tour has hosted, so this must be an old article. I'm so sorry. It might be an old article that I'm very confused, but we'll figure it out. Of the roughly 24 events the Reawaken America Tour has hosted, Flynn has spoken at the vast majority of them and is featured prominently on its promotional materials. For a time, Flynn collected a $15,000 speaker's fee. That's today. Oh, okay. For each appearance, But according to his deposition, the tour ran into financial difficulties and those payments ended. Clark claims the tour is a money loser for him. This is so interesting. There's Clay. There's the wedding DJ. He's a big dick, if you want to know. As the tour was getting up and running in 2021, Flynn was also collecting thousands of dollars in speaking fees for appearances at campaign events and conservative political organizations, according to campaign finance records. Flynn tends to play an MC role at Reawaken America Tour events, usually speaking for 20 minutes or so, teeing up the general themes of the conference. Flynn sometimes makes oblique references to election fraud during his own comments, speaking to an audience that has already been primed to believe the 2020 election was stolen. Or stolen. Everybody saw the 2020. Everybody saw the 2020 election and all the shenanigans that went on. Flynn said during a tour event in Mannheim, Pennsylvania in October 2022. A lot of it right here in this state. That's right. They like to call you election denier, Flynn went on to say. I don't deny that elections occurred. I do deny that we have a fair election system in our country. We do not. You can't tell me that we do. Well, we do. Sorry, Mikey. You short piece of shit. Where was your wife? Why wasn't your wife at the tour? Is it because you were fucking everything on your tour? Is that why Lori didn't make it? Tell us. Because it was just a big booty call for you boys on that bus? Was it a booty bus? Give me a break. Yeah, never mind all the down ballot Republicans who won. Ugh. Rhinos. No, I'm just kidding. Among the regular speakers at the Reawaken America tour was Joe Oltmann. Good old Joe Oltmann, a far-right activist and Colorado podcaster who was a source of election rigging smears against Coomer. Joe's sick. Joe's violent and sick, and he needs to be arrested. And he won't persevere. I just know it. He'll explode because he's an angry tick. He's an angry little tick. In the wake of the 2020 election, Oltmann claimed on his podcast that he had infiltrated an Antifa teleconference call during which an Eric supposedly bragged about rigging the election for Biden. Oltmann pointed to anti-Trump posts on Coomer's private Facebook page in asserting that the Eric he claims to have heard on that call was the Dominion executive Coomer. This is true. He believes that. The allegations were picked up across Trump world and were repeated by Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani at the infamous November 19th, 2020 press conference at the Republican National Committee headquarters. Appearing on stage at Reawaken America Tour events in 2021 and 22, Oltmann repeated his unfounded claims about Coomer's election rigging scheme. He does it today in remarks that often took aggressive and even violent undertones. Shocker. He's a violent man. Oltmann, whom Coomer is also suing for defamation, has never put forward evidence that would prove his allegations. He has refused to sit for testimony or produce subpoenaed documents, and even managed to escape a courthouse midway through a June deposition. Oh my God. A judge recently hit Oltmann with a $1,000 a day fine with a threat of potential incarceration. The fine is on pause while he appeals that judgment. Under oath in the deposition, Flynn said he couldn't recall the details of Oltmann's allegations about Coomer and claimed he would not recognize Oltmann if he walked into his office. Oh, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Coomer's attorneys have noted that elsewhere in the deposition, Flynn says that he tries to watch as many speakers as possible when he attends tour events. Clark has claimed that litigation has cost him between $2,000 and $3,000 a day in legal fees, while Oltmann pleaded to his podcast listeners for contributions to his legal fights. Hi, Badger. If you're still listening, hi, Taz Pam. Taz Pam? Who's Taz Pam? Oh my God. Lawyers for Clark and his businesses declined to comment for this story. Well, I mean, he's become so much more than a wedding DJ, though. I mean, you know, moving on up to the East Block to a one-room cell, and it's hot. No. Several of them, including Flynn's one-time attorney, Sidney Powell, were charged criminally by state prosecutors probing election subversion. Powell, whose sources say had a falling out with Flynn, her former client, and appears to be keeping a lower public profile of late, entered a guilty plea in the Fulton County, Georgia prosecution and quietly settled this summer the defamation lawsuit Coomer brought against her. Trump attorney Jenna Ellis pled guilty in the Georgia case and has apologized for her role in peddling election lies. Giuliani is subject to a $148 million defamation judgment, currently being appealed, for his smearing of he's lost, right? His smearing of two Georgia election workers, and has also been disbarred in New York and D.C. Meanwhile, Flynn has navigated around much of this fallout while positioning himself as an increasingly prominent voice on purported election fraud while the 2024 election gets underway. As the international community prepares for a possible second Trump term, multiple foreign diplomats tell CNN they see Flynn as someone who will have influence if the former president retakes the White House, and have privately speculated that he could be tapped for another high-level position if that comes to pass. During the recent event hosted by the far-right group Rod of Iron Ministries, Flynn's son told the crowd that his father would likely join forces with Elon Musk to head a government efficiency task force. Flynn himself, meanwhile, has started to publicly suggest he would help Trump round up political opponents should he win in 2024. At the Rod of Iron Ministries event, an audience member asked if Flynn would be reinstated with his full rank to sit at the head of a military tribunal to not only drain the swamp, but to imprison the swamp and on a few occasions execute the swamp if Trump is elected. I definitely believe we need accountability, Flynn said. You know, your question went into some other areas that I think a lot of people actually think like you do. And I think that that's your right and our privilege. I mean, there is a way to get after this, but we have to win first. During the Reawaken America Tour's most recent gathering, held last weekend in Selma, North Carolina, Flynn sang along to Twisted Sister's 1980s anthem, We're Not Gonna Take It, and earlier that weekend made remarks to the attendees stressing that this election was only the beginning of their movement. Now, there's all kinds of things that you can go out there and do. We've been talking about voting all day. Yes, do that, Flynn said Friday. But don't just finish on Election Day. Take this idea of what this country was designed to be and take it forward into your lives for the rest of your lives. Make every single day count. Oh, that's what he said. Oh, fine. Okay, fine. That's really good. Oh, thank you, gal. That is really good. Which links? Well, here we go. I love campaign finance records. I love campaign finance records. This is the FEC's website. Good website to know. Also, opensecrets.org. Hi to friend listening. Oh, Laura Loomer in there. Oh, is she? I mean, it's all the same people. It's all the same people. It's all the same people. I can't even, like, it's all the same people. All the same. All the same. I'll link that too in the whatchamacallits. What's this? What's this? New. Zachary Cohen reporting today. New. Under oath in a court deposition earlier this year, Michael Flynn for the first time put on... Ooh, we're getting like a little Michael Flynny today. Ooh, I like this. Mike, are they turning their attentions on you and your little actions? Satan? Now, under oath in a court deposition, Michael Flynn, for the first time on record, acknowledged that there was no evidence to support. Oh, you did? Excellent, Carla. We'll update our Flynn picture. Oh my God, I'm hiccuping. Okay. We have the video. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh wait, this is the video. Wait. Oh, is the video in there? Hold on. Don't everybody panic. Don't panic. They have the video. Where's the video? La 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 la. No. In a court deposition. Maybe this is it. Oh, this is the deposition. Okay, well that's all right. I'll hold on to that. I'll hold on to that. Where's the video though? Didn't they say they had a video? Do 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 do. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. Or maybe I missed it. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Wait, what? I haven't seen these text messages. Cyber Ninjas is shuttering. Oh, okay. Well, that's not. We don't need that. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. Do 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 do. Wait, we have the video. Where's the video? Where's the video? Play the video. More, 2 hours ago, Zach Cohen adds CNN obtained a November 2020 email chain that Flynn forwarded to a member of Trump's National Security Council. The email, which Flynn did not write, that's that, calls for the rest of Eric Coomer. Darn. Where's the video? Where's the video? Tell me where the video is. Bitch, what? CNN has a paywall? What the fuck? What are they? They're not supposed to be anything. They're not anything. What? All right, that's fine. We'll find it. We'll find it. Oh, okay. I'm gonna take a little weed break. Oh, hello to Badger's friend. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the Shire. Welcome, Hobbit. I hope you brought your smoke and your second breakfast. Can I just tell you how amazing my weed place is? Can I tell you one more time? Yesterday, I ordered some weed, as is my habit. And, they forgot something, which is fine. Doesn't make me mad ever. They do a lovely job. And so I just let them know, hey, I think this is missing. If the guys are coming by like tomorrow or anything, they can drop it off then. It doesn't have to be right now or anything. And he's like, no, I got somebody going out there. I'll have them drop it by. And it was just so nice. And what they did because it really, it doesn't make me mad. It just doesn't make me mad. I know if we had our own shire, I would love that. They sent along the item that they forgot and 3 pre-rolled joints. I mean, that's overkill nice. I'm not going to say no, but it's overkill nice. I'm telling you right now, Cushfly.com, if they are in your area, use them. They're so nice and their prices are amazing and the quality is fantastic. So, and they have a deal every day. Every day. And they're very nice people. I like nice people. They're really good at what they do. All right. Hold on, because let me go make sure. God, this is now. So here's the thing. If Flynn starts getting the attention that he deserves, this is a very good thing. I know. I'm sorry, easily. I'm sorry. I don't know why their delivery is really cheap, though. I don't understand how they do it, but. What, were they stoned? Maybe. Dude. No, they're very sweet. I mean, I didn't realize it was gone until I was like already smoking something else and going, I think I ordered one more thing. I'm like, did I order one more thing? And then I looked at it and I'm like, oh yeah, I did. So, yeah. No mention of Ivan. I know he's going to feel left out. You're right, Teresa. Yeah, so I cannot be happier because here's the thing. It is so frustrating to me to see people like Flynn, he's just one among a few, but his influence is outsized when it comes to his singular focus on creating a cadre of people that absolutely hate their government. And it all comes from him being fired by Obama. And that, I think, absolutely humiliated him. That not only was he fired, but he was fired by a man who is black. And I could see that being something that really gets under the skin of General Flynn, thinking that he's God's gift to military. You know, like, what's that big military person? Not Patton, but like way, way back, like the 300, you know, who are the military greats of like whatever. He thinks he's that. I think it's hilarious. And I didn't realize him and Clay Clark didn't meet. Lafayette, maybe. Yeah, Lafayette. I was thinking even back, you know, like, I don't know, the really old times. But it's fine. You get the point. You get the point. And I think that I just, you know, the thing, I don't obviously I didn't go to law school. So with a lot of these situations, I kind of think to myself, Custer, yeah. F troop. You know, the greats. The greats. Colonel Clink, you know, the greats. Custer. Bunch stupid. Yeah. Well, and the thing about it, Carrie, is that you're right. He swept up all the cranks and kooks and put them into his zombie cult. Napoleon, maybe. He's definitely short. So I look at him and go, my goodness, there has to be something illegal in what he's doing. But I also don't know, you know, I don't know like conspiracy laws and all those things clearly. And so I also give some grace to, do we have enough to book him, you know, kind of thing. So I always, although I'm always afraid that there isn't will. Mark Antony, the singer? Yeah, maybe. Alexander the Great. Alexander the Grump. Yeah, no, not that great. Not that great. What's the one that lost? Cyrus? No, what's the guy that lost for the 300? You know, what's his name? The Scottish actor. What? I think Cyrus was the one he didn't beat or something. What's his name? Come on, the 300. That Scottish guy. Fuck. It's what the it's what it's what the chuds always refer to, like the 300, not realizing that the people there military. No, come on now. What the fuck? It was a stupid movie. It was a stupid movie. Hold on. God damn it. What's that guy's name? 300. Fuck, man. Leonidas. Leonidas. That's it. That's what I was thinking of. They always quote that movie. I know. I didn't know it. It's true. It's true. The 300, Leonidas. Wallace. No. Those guys won or something, right? They were, I guess Wallace didn't win. I don't know. Anyway, my point is that the chuds always think Peonitis. The chuds always think like this guy, right? This guy, Gerard Butler, General Mel Gibson. Anyway, the point is, stop it. The point is, they always think of Leonidas as like this really macho hero, you know? And, well, God damn it. And the point is that he lost. Like, he got crushed. Like, more crushed. More crushed. Like, mega crushed. Okay, let's go to my DMs and see what magical stuff has been shared. Teresa is on it this morning already. Carla already sent a new picture of General Flynn, which we have to check out. Hold on, let's do this. Wednesday, October. I don't know what's wrong with my laptop, but here's the Flynn-Flam I sent you, not the one you received. What? I like that one. Fuck shit Jesus. I'll never forget fuck shit Jesus. Okay, and then let's see. What did Teresa send me? Oh my God. Oh my God. Carrie, what you just sent me is crazy. Oh. Oh. Oh, interesting. Okay. Hold on. Where is it? Teresa, where is it go? Oh. Oh, you're right up there. Does Raw Story have a paywall? Anybody know? Boy, they're really trying to sell me these shoes, you know? Perionitis. It does sound like it's Spartacus. I am Spartacus, the 300. That's what it's called, Badger. Oh, okay, good. All right. So, leaked. This is from Teresa. That cat _TC, my love. Leaked deposition shows Trump ally admitting major part of voter fraud theory is bunk. Oh. Do they have to admit that they don't have any evidence? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mikey Flynn. I'm sorry. I don't have any evidence to show that you didn't steal. No one stole the election. You just lost. That's what happens. Sometimes. Oops. What is. Ah! Sorry. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oops. Why is it making it smaller? Okay. Here we go. Hold on. God, these ads and shit. You know, they can send a man to the moon, but they can't just give me a clean website. Okay. CNN has obtained a video deposition. Thank you, Teresa. Of Trump ally Mike Flynn acknowledging that he has no evidence to back up a key part of the conspiracy theories that he's floated for years about the 2020 election being rigged against the former president. That's right. He doesn't, because there is none. The deposition was taken as part of a defamation lawsuit filed by former Dominion Voting Systems executive Eric Coomer, who was falsely accused of stealing the election from Trump 4 years ago. Have you seen any evidence that you would consider credible, Mr. Flynn, that Eric Coomer played a role in rigging the 2020 presidential election? Coomer's attorneys asked Flynn. I have not, no, Flynn responded. I don't really know. The attorneys also asked Flynn about evidence he'd seen about Dominion machines being rigged to steal votes from Trump, and he said that he had seen a lot of evidence and read a lot of reports, but then hedged on whether he'd consider them credible. It is hard to use. Credibility, I know they're doing a lot of sponsor, like this is how they get their money, is putting all this junk on their website, but whatever. Credibility is in the eye of the legal system to determine, he said. Nonetheless, Flynn would continue to spout conspiracy theories about 2020 election during appearances on right-wing media programs, claiming that the election was filled with fraud and insisting he had clear evidence to prove it. Wait, where's the video? Wait. Oh, okay. Stop. Stop it. Wait, what? Huh? What? Huh? Huh? Did anybody hear the Guardian story last night about the model who says she was sexually assaulted by Trump and Epstein in 1992? Did you guys? God damn it. Did you guys see that? Where's the fucking video? Do you have the video or no? Do you have the video or not? Where? Why? Oh, I kind of like this though. Maybe it's over here. Maybe. Oh, okay. Ah, such a touchy little thing. Little touchy thing. Why is this even a choice? Why is this even a choice? You saw it on the elevator ride with Epstein. Yeah. Yeah. So what? Okay. And then what's this big thing that they think they're going to drop? Is that just another like ruse or something? Oh my God. Raw story. Stop it. Stop it. Her name is Stacey Williams. Dozens of such stories have not moved the needle. I know. I agree. Yes, Stacey Williams. That's right. I probably do. Hold on. Let me get it. I'll get it. Yeah, I know. You're right. It's just not going to take hold, is it? Hold on. Whoops. Mm, 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 mm. Well, there's been an update. Afternoon update. Oops. And then The Guardian also has some interesting pop-ups. Oh, I see. That's not. Sorry. Okay. This is what I saw last night, and Midas was the one I saw it on because they put out like a late night. Hey, this is the October surprise for Trump, which I don't think it is, but Raw Story had an interesting explanation of this appeal. Trump supporters see his depravity as a selling point conservative. You know, I think that's so accurate. Oh, no problem. And it's because you're not a moderator, Paulina. Only the moderators can put an actual link in. But if you put the part in after the www, if you're able to isolate that, then you can drop it in chat. But whatever's easiest, please. No worries. Yeah, exactly. So here's the thing, Max. They love his irreverence. They love his roughness. They love him talking about men's penises. They love him grabbing women's pussies. They love him for all of the things that we think are deal breakers. They think as a feature. The fact that he says bullshit and shit and fuck and damn from the podium is a feature for them. It's a benefit. It's not a bug. It's just so interesting. Yeah, apparently there's a story. There's probably, I think there's video or something. Someone's teasing the fact that Trump was groping the daughter of a donor or something at a fundraiser. And apparently there's video of it. I don't know. We'll see whatever it comes out. But I'm telling you right now, he really, the man can do no wrong in the eyes of the people who are fervently going to vote for him. Now, that doesn't mean that you still don't expose whatever it is, because I believe there still are voters who may be like, well, maybe I should vote for Trump because of the economy, and maybe because she's a black woman, I don't want to vote for her. You know, there may be people like that who are like, oh, well, if he groped a teenager, then maybe I won't. You know, like I could see there's some people, but it's really his base is his base. They answer the question, I wonder what happened to all the high school bullies after graduation. You're right. A minor. Yeah, a child. A child. A child. Yeah, only a live boy or a dead girl would move the needle. That's an interesting characterization. I mean, there just isn't that much. He's done the job he was set out to do, which is break the fences. He broke all the fences. like from moral behavior all the way to espionage and treason. Like literally, you guys, look at it. He's running for president. And he's being shown in polls to be doing far better than one might have hoped a criminal would do. That's unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable to me that just taking all the politics out of it, that his deficiencies as a human are what makes him attractive to a portion of the electorate. That's bad. Because what happens when he does go away? Because he will die, okay? Everybody dies. Everybody farts, everybody shits, everybody dies. So what's going to happen? And I know there's like lots of people to take his place, but there's not going to be another Donald. And I will say that I think the legacy that he leaves is a much more disgusting conservative party, Republican, whatever. Yeah, he broke all of the fences, which means they're still going to be able, but I believe, maybe I hope, I believe that no one can do it like he does. So it won't necessarily be the same effect. You know, like there will be mimicry, but it won't necessarily be the same. Yeah, Vance shudders. Yeah, well, but that's not the problem, right? The problem, just like you said, Badger, the problem is Vance. The problem is Teal. The problem is Vivek. The problem is Robert Kennedy Jr. The problem is Tulsi Gabbard. The problem is Mike Flynn. The problem is all the people that are with him. Elon, thank you, Jesus. Forgot the worst one. That's the problem. That along with Trumpism comes this cadre of people who are determined to crush regular people and control how we educate our children, control how we get our medical care and from whom, how we teach in college, because people will be monitored for what they're teaching. Never mind the death. I have an article. Hold on. Let me. You get the point. This poor woman, and God bless her for coming out publicly and saying this happened to me, and I'm not gonna fucking put up with it. So, but let me tell you what I found yesterday. Hold on. Give me a minute. Where is it? Oh, shoot. Tell me I kept it. I keep too many things because then I get freaked out about what I have. Oh, damn it. All right. Tell me again what we were talking about. Elon. Trump world. Wait. No, there's some article that maybe this was it.
Hey guys, Sam Stein, managing
this one.
editor
I
at
did
The
kinda wanna
Bulwark
listen to
here,
this.
and we have brought back yet again, like a member of the family at this point, Evan Roth-Smith of Blueprint, lead pollster at the outfit there. Evan,
Maybe
how's it
this will
going?
make me think.
It's going great. Thanks for having me back.
Will they eat
Only
each other?
13
I don't
days
know.
left. Are you ready for it to end? Are you sad
This
that
is
it
the
might end?
Bulwark.
I am ready for Elon Musk to send me to Mars. That's what I'm ready for.
Sometimes I feel like we're already on Mars. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're having you come in to talk about a study. We're a little late to it because you released it on the 16th of October, but I actually think there's some direct relevance to this study today. I'll get to that in a second. But the study looks at the best, most effective, persuasive closing arguments that Kamala Harris could make against Donald Trump. You guys ran through a number of them, and there were some really interesting findings. I'm going to go through the top two and then the bottom two, and then I just want you to sort of unpack it for us. So the most persuasive argument that Kamala Harris can make against Donald Trump, according to your findings, is this. Quote, nearly half of Donald Trump's cabinet have refused to endorse him. When Trump learned during the Capitol riot that his supporters were threatening to kill his own vice president, he said, so what? And refused to do anything to ensure the vice president was safe. Republican governors, senators, and House members have all said the same thing. We can't give Trump another 4 years as president. This argument had a plus 12 preference effect overall for Kamala Harris and a plus 14 preference effect for independents. The next closest one had to do with
I
Roe
don't know why
versus
this race
Wade,
is
noting that
close.
Trump
I
appointed the
don't.
judges who
I think
overturned
polls are stupid.
Roe and that
This
abortion
guy
bans
did
have
a
happened in
focus
22
groups
states since then.
study.
That had a plus 10 preference effect overall for Harris and plus 12 among independents. The least persuasive arguments is kind of interesting because Barack Obama's been making this one on the trail. It has to do with selling Bibles.
You're running for president and you're hawking merchandise. Why are you selling a watch? What are you doing? My favorite is the Trump Bible. True story. True story. I mean, it's embossed with his name right on it. Donald Trump edition, right next to Matthew and Luke. Donald. And I'll give you one guess where those Bibles are made. He's Mr. Tough Guy on China, except when it comes to making a few bucks. You cannot make this stuff up.
Quote, Trump's God Bless the USA Bibles, which are sold for $59.99 each, are manufactured in China. It's exactly what we should come to expect from Trump attacking China in public while working with them in private to make a profit. That had a negative 14 persuasive effect for Harris. Let's focus first on the more effective ones. Republicans in Trump's cabinet refusing to endorse him. Talk a little bit about why that's so persuasive.
Well, in all these, only a handful of these arguments we tested really work in a meaningful way. And
right.
We've seen in all of our testing, and I think what the Harris campaign themselves sees is the best thing for Kamala Harris to talk about at any given moment is Kamala Harris and what she's going to do for the country. But you have to talk about Donald Trump. You cannot ignore this guy and pretend he doesn't exist, especially when he's doing things like saying, I wish I had Hitler's generals, right? And so we wanted to go out and see what can you say that is still sticky on this guy who's been in our lives for a decade now, who so many people have made up their minds about. And the stickiest thing is to say all of these Republicans have come out now during this election cycle, say this guy is too dangerous to let back in, whether it's people who worked for him, whether it's people who were in Congress at the time that he was president and are saying you can't do this again. That really does make a difference. And it's interesting because, Democrats always talk about the threat that Donald Trump poses to our democracy and to the future of our country, right, and so on. But coming out of a Republican mouths, that argument is much more persuasive because, of course, Democrats hate Republicans. And you see how well it does with independents, right? Independents assume Democrats don't like Republicans. Republicans don't like Democrats. Of course, they say nasty things about each other. But when Republicans nasty things about Republicans, it works.
It's notable because it kind of perfectly lines
really
up
good
with
point.
the moment we are in right now. Last night, we're taping this on Wednesday. Last night, we have two articles from the Atlantic and the New York Times, both of which quote John Kelly, Donald Trump's former chief of staff, basically saying this guy, yes, is definitionally a fascist and privately has said he wished he had generals that Hitler had, has no empathy, yada, yada, yada. What's notable about the New York Times one is that they have audio recordings of Kelly saying this. He's not on camera, but there is audio recordings.
Certainly an authoritarian, admires people who are dictators. He has said that. So he certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, for sure.
Is there a way to grapple with the difference between just quoting someone and also versus hearing it from that person's mouth?
I think it's pretty chilling to hear John Kelly, who was not just White House chief of staff, but also a decorated military veteran, discuss, to hear the words fascist come out of that man's mouth, especially for people in the Republican Party who value patriotism in their elected officials and so on. And to hear a decorated military official and to hear someone who was front and center during the Trump administration say, you know what, push comes to shove, I think this guy might be a fascist. To hear those words is bone chilling, and a way to see them in print might not be.
Then the other thing that was interesting about the study is that some of the other big issues, closing arguments that score well for Harris are mostly issue based, right? Roe versus Wade really works well for her. Social Security, talking about how Trump, when he was president, tried to cut Medicare and Social Security, that works well for her. The Affordable Care Act, noting that Trump tried to get rid of it and the accompanying protections for people with pre-existing conditions, that again, 6+ persuasive effect. But then you get into sort of the character stuff with Trump, and it's doesn't really move the dial as much. Like, for instance, talking about how Trump is selfish, always on looking out for only himself and not for the American people, noting that his golf courses and hotels have made millions, hundreds of millions of dollars from foreign countries, kind of didn't move the dial at all. Character. Trump doesn't have the character it takes to be president. He's erratic and can't control himself, denies the election results. That didn't move the dial either. Why does the character stuff not work, but the Republicans talking about Trump's character does work?
Well, part of it is that messenger effect, right? That
Right.
the last people you'd expect to speak ill of a Republican presidential nominee are other prominent Republicans. But it's also, voters know that Trump is kind of a scumbag. Voters are well acquainted with his character. And you've either decided it's disqualifying and you're going to vote for someone else, or you've decided you can overlook it because you agree with him on policy or certain other things, or you enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
But it's tying the character to consequences in your life, which is why those top performers after this Republican warning message are things like Donald Trump's a scumbag and he's going to take away your right. Donald Trump's a scumbag and he's going to undermine Social Security. Donald Trump's a scumbag and you're not going to be able to afford your health care, right? Drawing the line from his character to the consequences is what works. Just talking about his character,
one of the things I wondered about too, like when I went to that GOP event, one of my signs said Agenda 47 or Project 2025 equals Agenda 47. And one woman I asked, because she didn't know what anything was, she knew what Project 2025 was. She said, "Oh, no, the president has disavowed that. Blah, blah, blah. He doesn't like that," or whatever she said. And then I said, "Have you read Agenda 47? And she's like, "What's that?" And I said, "Well, that is your guys' platform. So it actually has many of this, it's less intelligently written and less pages, but it basically is Project 2025 in bullet points." And she's like, "Oh, that's very, very rare." And I'm like, so the base, again, I love this description of like people love it. I think that's the part I see mostly is the people who love it, love his behavior. But they haven't looked further. And I know this is like I'm singing to the choir right now, so I apologize, but they haven't looked further because they don't care. It's not even that they're willing to accept it. I mean, there might be some out there who are like, oh, he's so vulgar. Well, according to those fundy wives, men are supposed to be vulgar. That's what makes them men or something. I don't really know what that means, but okay. All right. Anyway, so I just thought it was really interesting.
It doesn't move the needle with the kinds of voters who matter.
Now, the one thing that really did surprise me, the screwed workers argument here. Throughout his career, Donald Trump has screwed over workers.
We should talk about
His fraudulent
polls
Trump
and
University
how
left
they're
thousands of
manipulated.
Americans with fake diplomas. He doesn't pay his taxes or his contractors. And when he was president, he tried to strip healthcare from working Americans to cut taxes for his rich friends.
They love
when you
when
tested
he says
it,
he's
that
not
had
going
a
to pay a
negative
bill.
3
They love
persuasive
it,
effect,
they want
a
to say
negative
that
1 for
too.
independence. So it didn't really work at all. And I'm curious why you think that's the case.
Well, there are a couple things. One is just that this isn't exactly new, right? Democrats have been talking about Donald Trump and how he's treated the people who have worked for him or who he's gone into business with or his customers, for a decade now, right? It's
Right.
pretty baked in. So you have to tell people something new in the last 2 weeks of the election if you're going to move them any one way or the other. The other thing is, I just want to characterize the kind of testing we did here. These are all relative preference effects to each other, right? So this is saying out of this list that we did, here's what really knocked it out of the park. And here's the stuff where, if you have to put an ad up in the closing weeks, do this one, don't do that one, right?
Right.
It doesn't mean it doesn't move anyone. It just means there's something you could say that would move people even more. And we have seen the Harris campaign in the last couple of days, they've gone up with an ad about Republicans saying, don't trust Donald Trump. And today, a very, very dramatic ad on the consequences of overturning Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, the reason that surprised me is because I talked to a lot of Democratic operatives, and through the years, they've made the case that, one of the real mistakes the party made was just sort of letting Trump grab the populist mantle, present himself as a champion of the working class. When in fact, what they've been arguing is that they should have spent the time portraying Trump as a phony populist.
What?
His ties are made in China. His Bibles are made in China. He's totally fine.
But we tried that.
Relying on foreign workers, except he campaigns against it. All this stuff that they say make him a phony populist, chip away at that coalition he's built with working class voters. Are you saying that these messages are strictly for a closing argument, and that message actually would work and has worked in the past, but that when you're looking at 2 weeks with the election left, these are the things you got to do?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Connecting the dots better on Donald Trump and who he really is and how he's really acted over the years. Yeah, that's a multi-year project that the Democrats, could have done and could have done a better job at.
You think?
I don't understand. But 13 days left, and I know I talk about this every time we talk, but 500,000 voters who matter in this election who haven't made up their minds yet, who either split their tickets or flip flop between the parties every election or are genuinely undecided this late in the game. And live in a swing state, right? That's who we're dealing with. So you have to hit them with the hardest hitting stuff where you don't have to connect too many dots. His fellow Republicans say, don't vote for him. Period. End of story. You don't have to say, well, the Trump Taj, when he built in Atlantic City and he had this contractor, or, the Russian dossier and this, you don't have to tell the whole story. You just have to hit them with something that is convincing, that gets them over the finish line on making a decision about their vote.
It's pretty true. Guy praises Hitler. That packs a punch. Evan, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it, as always.
Oh, thank you. That was interesting, actually. Thank you very much. Thanks for indulging me and letting us watch that. Yeah, I think that there should be more conversation about, like, I was reading something recently about, I think it was Rasmussen, or maybe it was another conservative pollster, and that their method of polling was to find out in advance, well, that they would coordinate with the campaign basically to determine the location of where the polling would take place. And then the campaign was able to send volunteers to go in and be the pollees. So I did read about that recently. I'll have to find that quotation because that's a pretty big deal. But yeah, so I have read, and I've never trusted polls. Oh my God. Even with, when 538 was something that people were like, oh, he's so great. I was always like, whatever, like, who are you asking? When are you asking? What are you asking? I have no idea. And it doesn't, I much rather deal with what's in front of me in terms of a candidate than somebody's, mass opinions. Like, those never seem like, I just think there's too many stupid people in the world. Maybe that's it. Maybe my view of humanity is a little skewed in terms of, like, like, I feel like people are too stupid. Anyway. But that aside, I think that's really interesting. And then also, I do find it, like, there just is a base who wants that. It's not even that they're holding their tongues. They actually enjoy his style. And I do think there is a lot, because they've built up such a distrust of the government amongst that base, and disillusionment with prices being high and other things, which are real, but not necessarily attributable to the administration. But that's just too much detail for anybody to handle. So I can see where kind of taking advantage of whatever modicum of pain, happens in people's lives, which there is always some level of pain in our lives that can be poked and prodded. And I think when he does that, it basically, when he comes out and says things like, sorry, God, that's really annoying. fucking immigrant crime and all this, whatever nonsense he spouts on a daily basis. They're like, I've been wanting to say that for years. So it's not that they're putting up with him, it's that they are him, but with less money. So he's saying everything they want to say out loud, and he's the goddamn former president. So it has to be okay what I think. And finally, I have someone standing on my TV screen who says what I think and doesn't shush me or doesn't tell me that I'm not politically correct or doesn't humiliate me. That's the problem. And that, I think, is only baked out over time with improving our education and our care for children. That if we focus on the whole child, if we focus on media literacy, if we focus on things that actually matter, that we can then, as a society, grow with smarter, more intuitive, more self-aware, and self-loving adults. It's not hard, actually, but it does take reflection and change, and recognizing that when you are in the midst of societal change, it is very chaotic. And I believe we're in the midst of societal change for the better, hopefully, where gender is less emphasized, where we can not only accept but embrace each other for who we are and who we love or whatever, and keep our noses out of each other's business. You know, like, I think there are actual things, secure voting rights and stop gerrymandering. I mean, there are actual concrete things that can be done. But I feel like we're in the midst of getting through the messy part of the chaos of societal change in some ways. And I mean, that's the only conclusion I can draw. So, I mean, that's just what's in my head. But I think that it is, I think it's good to hear things like what we just heard, because the people who are voting for Trump are doing so somewhat somewhat in a dream state. And I don't think, I think that racism and bigotry and other things that are endemic in that part of the political sphere, or, highly prevalent, I think those things don't ever resolve themselves, but they go under the rocks. And over time, you are growing humans that hopefully are more compassionate and empathic and understanding, and also aware of the fact that the world is diverse and wonderful, and that, I remember driving through my hometown many, many decades after leaving it. And there was all new businesses, a lot of new restaurants, and old restaurants were gone. And, it wasn't the same town I grew up in the 70s. And, it was far different, far more diverse, far more everything. And at first I felt a little sad, like, oh, something I loved is gone, right? But then I thought more about it, and I thought, but no, nothing's permanent. right? Like nothing is permanent. Things move on. Things become different, better, worse, whatever. But that's not something I need to mourn. I need to just be like, "Oh, look how it's different and how it's changed." Cuz it just doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I don't know where I went off on that tangent, but I think that it's just my point is that change is a good thing, and if anything, now we need to change uh, our resolve, I guess, to really just stand up to fascism and stand up to bigotry and laugh it down and say no, not here. No, we don't do that. Yeah, remember debating for clean needles? Yeah. I mean, it's just, we make progress, we pull back, we make we pull back. I really hope that this intense time of chaos, cuz I feel intense time of chaos, being 60 years old, so I feel like I've experienced some different political climates. This one feels as intense as it could be. I don't remember the late 60s, but I'm sure those were equally intense. But I mean, I'm hoping that indicates that this is the time of great change and that we are, standing in the breach against a lifestyle that is more controlled and less freedom than we are used to having or that we strive to have. And it's also, I mean, I still go back to my time in West Africa in a country that was democratic and was just about to start their election season. They were launching their campaigning. And I just saw how fragile democracy could be. And even in that setting, democracy wasn't really democracy because there was an awful lot of control by the state in that country. So I did get an appreciation at that time of, wow, the transfer of power is like really super fucking important. I remember thinking that at the time, like, holy shit. Like, that's not just a ceremony. That's like a serious thing. And then we were talking about constitutions. I was talking to my colleagues there, and there are countries where the constitution can change with the administration. And the fact that we have a single document which is amended from which we operate is incredibly valuable. As clunky and horrid as it has been, it is amazing in its capacity to maintain peace. Because collectively, we understand that that is the governing document that we have created or should have created. Not always. So I that is to me the real crux of this election. Is that we are trying to shock the bigotry out of people that would vote for Trump, and we should give up on that particular piece. Absolutely document what has been done and hold people accountable for their actions. But yeah. Remember oh yeah, Reagan created the border problem by ending migrant labor. He was scared to death of the political power of Cesar Chavez. I remember that. I remember that real well. Still haven't ratified the ERA. I don't know. It's really, and I still believe very deeply, actually, that this union will be more perfect. I really do believe that, 100%. But it's, not at the risk of losing some folks along the way, and that is terribly, terribly sad. AM call-in radio. God damn, girl. Max, you are so right. And easily, Reagan and Rush started this shit. You know, we should watch Bad Faith again, the documentary. I played it on Discord a while back, but we should play that again. Because it's such a good historical perspective on some of the other folks that controlled the narrative back in the day, back in the 80s and before, really. Really good documentary. Bad Faith, really good documentary. Daughter got news of a 5-state blitz next week. A place where she works got the contract. Whoa, that's good. That's really good. Congrats, Easily. Congrats. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and head out for the morning. But stay tuned. If something breaks, I'll come live later on today. If something's breaking news, I'll be like Steve Lookner. Guys. But thanks for listening to my TED Talk about a more perfect union. And don't forget your media literacy. Oh, 5-state blitz for Harris. That's fucking great. Guys, it's unbelievable. Did you see that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that explosion? Wait, there's a boom. Anyway, so I'll see you later. Or if not, I'll see you definitely tomorrow morning. So thank you to Gal. Thank you to everyone who provided information today. Wonderful chat as usual. But I will definitely see you later. Have a great day. I really appreciate you guys. Was there a flash? Did you guys see a flash? Poor Steve. He's Linus in that fucking pumpkin patch, isn't he? God bless him. Waiting for some real mayhem. Okay, well, let's hope he doesn't get it. All right.